I've done a few different pickup comparison videos on my channel where I compared two different pickups in the same guitar to see how they differ and what qualities you can expect from them. This time I want to do something different. This time I'm going to take one pickup, the IronGear Blues Engine, and install it in 3 different guitars. This way I'm going to be able to hear first of all how it sounds in each guitar, but more importantly I'll be able to hear what the shared qualities are or even what the differences are between the guitars. That way I'll have a more thorough idea of what the Blues Engine can offer. Let's get right to it. Hi, I'm Alexis. Welcome to Alexis Guitars, a channel all about guitar gear reviews, demos and comparisons. The thing about doing pickup reviews on YouTube is that they're not going to show you how the pickup is going to sound in your guitar. But by doing the comparison videos like I've been doing, hopefully that will give you an idea of what qualities to expect from each pickup. And also it'll give you an idea of what might be better suited for different players, for different guitars or for different music genres. So what I'm going to do in this video is play back-to-back clips of me playing the same thing on 3 different guitars with the Blues Engine installed in them. The IronGear website says that the Blues Engine is one of their PAF style pickups. It has an Alnico 4 magnet and measures 8.6 k ohms in a bridge. It's noted for its superb clarity, its warmth, and as the name suggests, it's meant to produce blues tones and rock tones effortlessly. Before I introduce the 3 different guitars, for some important details to go through. There'll be 3 different sound tests, one for clean, crunch, and high gain. I'm going to give you my thoughts after each sound test as well as my overall thoughts at the end. Each guitar is going to be set up with Harley Benton strings, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that the pickup height is as similar as possible in each guitar. I'll be using the same amp and pedal settings when I use pedals for each guitar, and I'm going to show you these settings before each sound test. So the amp I'm using today as usual is the Orange Terrace amp, and that's going into the 2 notes cab M, simulating an orange 2x12 cab with vintage 30s. That's what you're going to be hearing. What I'm hearing in the room is the Orange Terrace amp going into this 1x12 Harley Benton cab, also with a vintage 30. So what I hear in the room is very similar to what you're going to be hearing in this video. Very quickly, if you enjoy this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to this channel and enjoy content like this, please do consider subscribing. So let me introduce the guitars. Guitar number 1 is one I feature on my channel all the time, and it's one that I cut the body out of myself. I was given the wood blank, so I don't actually know what wood this is. I think it might be mahogany, but I can't be certain. I can tell you though that this is quite a heavy guitar, and I'll put on the screen how much it weighs. It's got a bolt-on maple neck with a maple fretboard, 248mm scale length, and although it's got one of these hardtail bridges, it's not a string-through body, it's top-mounted. Graphtec nuts, Graphtec string trees, 5-way selector switch with a master volume, master tone, and a bypass switch. The bridge position in this guitar normally sounds quite bright. Guitar number 2 is another one where I made the body of myself. It's a 2-piece Robinho wood body with a 2-piece oak top. The neck came from a Harley Benton Telecaster kit. It's a bolt-on maple neck, but I can't tell you what the fretboard material is because it's not listed on the Toneman website. It's also got a Graphtec nuts with Graphtec string trees, 248mm scale length, and top-mounted strings. Master volume, master tone, and a 3-way selector switch. The guitar itself is considerably lighter than guitar number 1. Guitar number 3 is looking rather naked at the moment, but I'm going to get it set up for this video. Now this guitar is quite a mystery for me. The brand is Angelica Deluxe, and at the back it says Made in Japan. Now I can't find anything about this guitar online, so if anyone knows anything about this brand, please do let me know. What I do know about it, other than obviously being an SG copy, is that it's a guitar which my dad actually got in the 70s, I think. Could have been 80s, but I'm pretty sure it was the 70s, which makes me think it could be one of those lawsuits made in Japan guitars, but that's just speculation, I don't actually know. Being a SG copy, it leads me to believe this is an all mahogany body and neck. I don't know about the fretboard. It looks like rosewood to me. It's got that same nice rosewood pattern, lovely color. Typical SG style setup. Volume for both pickups, tone for both pickups. I've had to unfortunately change a lot of the electronics because this guitar was not in a good condition. Now, although I love the look and the feel of this guitar, it's one that I don't really play that often because it just doesn't stay in tune because of this, it's not a Bigsby, but this Bigsby style whammy bar. Now I've kept the original pickups for this guitar, but I've loaded it with an IronGear Hot Slag bridge pickup, which is normally a very bright, punchy sounding pickup, but in this guitar sounds very thick and quite dark sounding, so I'm very curious to see how the Blues Engine sounds in this in comparison to the other guitars. So now that you're all acquainted, let's get to the sound test. So that was the clean sound test. Now to me, at these settings, each of the guitars sounded really nice and crisp. I found that there was enough brightness for clarity, but also enough warmth to kind of soften out the tone a little bit, meaning they all sounded really nice and balanced. I could hear some real differences between the three guitars though. To my ears, guitar number 1 had the brighter sound, which I really like, and guitar number 2 had a nice balance between warmth and brightness. Guitar number 3, on the other hand, aside from struggling to stay in tune, did have its own sound. I can't quite figure out if it's a mid-scoop sound or a mid-focus sound. Either way, it sounded really nice and clear. I really liked it, but let me know in the comments below what you thought. So up next is the crunch test. the crunch test, I could hear more of a difference between each of the three guitars. They each had their own tone with the Blues Engine installed in, though guitars number 2 and 3, which in my experience are generally quite thick, quite dark sounding guitars, sometimes a bit muddy unfortunately, they really benefited from their brighter sounding or at least more balanced sounding Blues Engine. One really cool similarity between the three guitars with this pickup installed in is that they all sounded really good when you rolled down the volume knob of the guitar. It turned it from this all-out crunch tone to a edge of break-up-y, clean-ish kind of tone, and that was pretty cool. This test highlighted to me how important the guitar as a whole is in the overall tone of the guitar. On to the next sound test. That was the high gain sound test, and I really enjoyed all of the tones I was able to get from that. Now the Blues Engine obviously isn't a metal pickup, so at high gain it had this awesome classic rock or dirty blues rock tone. And even though the guitars themselves sounded different to each other, I heard that quality across each of the three guitars. But I did find it really interesting how different each of the guitars sounded and how they each maintained their own characteristics and their own personalities almost. In the high gain test, I personally thought the Blues Engine sounded best in guitar number 1 and guitar number 3. So that was one pickup in 3 different guitars. What did you think? Could you hear any similarities between the 3 different guitars? And also, just for fun, which guitar did you like best? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I found doing this sound test really interesting because beforehand, I didn't really know how much influence the pickup itself versus the guitar itself would actually have on the overall tone. And it was really cool to see how, despite having the same pickup, each of the guitars maintained their own characteristics or personalities, like I said earlier. In the clean test, I could hear that despite the guitars sounding different to each other, they all had this nice clarity, this nice brightness and warmth. To my ears, as the gain increased, so did the differences between each of the guitars. The pickup managed to cover a classic rock crunch tone across each of the guitars, but the level of articulation in the notes really varied. Now that's a quality I attribute to the guitars and not to the pickup, but it's really good to know that installing a pickup in a guitar won't fundamentally change it, it will just bring out or highlight different qualities in the tone. One thing I really liked across the 3 guitars was the high gain tone, and here, although the guitars sounded different, they all had that great high gain classic rock tone or that bluesy rock tone. I thought they all sounded really good. Now the point of this video wasn't to see which guitar I thought sounded best. But I must say that although the overall winner is guitar number 1, I really enjoyed the tones I was getting from guitar number 3 from my SG, especially in the clean and the high gain sound test. So I think the Blues Engine may have found a new home here in this SG. If I can sort out the tuning stability on this guitar, you're going to see it featured on this channel a lot more. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video like this with one of the other IronGear pickups I've demoed. If you found this video helpful or interesting and would like to see more like this, let me know in the comments below, and also let me know which IronGear pickup you'd like me to do next. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all from me today. Till next time.